Hi, I'm Craig, the owner of the Legacy Building Company. I'm out here in Eden Prairie in a project we finished earlier this year. We have a two-story, three-season porch that previously was built on a standard 12-inch concrete pier footing. Unfortunately, those were not the appropriate support for a structure in this soil type and on a slope such as this. And the existing footings were failing. We had failures of between 1 and 4 inches in different locations of the porch and the deck. Several contractors passed this project. They weren't interested in helping this customer. We had a soil engineer, a structural engineer, and myself that came up with a creative solution to solve this problem. And what we did is we jacked up the entire structure on cribbing and added these new cantilevered beams to support the existing structure. And the important piece of this actually was these helical pier footings that we installed. So if you can imagine an auger type device that is 12 inches in diameter, that's really what is screwed into the ground here. You can see here there's actually a tie back going in, which is also a helical pier type device angled back into the soil. And the intention of that is to keep this footing from walking down the hill over time. And that was actually happening with this concrete piers that were here before, as they were actually sliding down the slope of the hill as they were settling. There were several challenges on this job. One major challenge was the steep slope that we were working on and the steep slope that we're trying to anchor these footings on. You can see as I'm standing here, we're on this slope, and this slope is about a 30 to a 45 degree pitch. That made it difficult to bring in material and equipment. It also made it difficult to actually even perform the work. One note on this too, the average depth of the helical piers on this job is 13 feet down. A second challenge on this job was the positioning of the existing footings. It would cost a lot to remove the existing footings so we could put the new helical piers in the same location. Another issue with that suggestion would be actually bringing in new soil to replace the existing footing location with new soil and actually compressing it or tamping it to a rating that would give us the torque needed for the helical piers. We actually move the location of the new footings. So you can see over in this position, the old footing is actually centered with this point below the deck. We put two new footings in around it. By putting in the new footings in new locations, we were able to avoid excavating out the old footings, which would suffer cost. Third challenge on this project was budget. Originally, we thought we were going to have to tear down this entire deck to be actually able to get the helical pier footings underneath it. During the process of the engineering and the soil testing, we learned that there were actually equipment out there, specifically the walk-behind Bobcat, which would actually fit underneath the deck. We were excited to discover creative solutions to get the equipment underneath the deck to drill the helical pier footings. Thus, when the job was completed and the bill was presented to the customer, we were able to present a bill to the customer that was several $1,000s less than the original projected estimate.